singers! I'm Sara and this is singingtv.com. Together you and we are making singing simple. I'm answering another user question with this episode, and Victoria Yates says, I need a tongue twisters warm-up. And here's what I would say about that. Tongue twisters I think can be very, very important, but in order to make things be healthy, I would actually rather you do tongue twisters speaking, at least for now, than singing. The reason is we're adding lots of components together for doing both. So, some things that can be really hard, I've noticed at the college where I teach, we have people sing Johnny Be Good. And if you know the song, it's about here. 1, 2, 3. Deep down Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, who lived a country boy named Johnny Be Good. So that goes on and on and on, and it's a very, very wordy song, which isn't necessarily hard if you have a long time to practice it. But if you have a week to practice it, and or English isn't your first language, well, then it's hard. So here's what I suggest doing if you find you're having a really hard time getting the lyrics out. I would take it really slow. 1, 2, 3. Deep down Louisiana, close to New Orleans, and always in time. Way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood. So that's one way to do things. For instance, if you're singing something you love's got me looking so crazy right now, your touch got me blah. That stuff can be hard to do. Slow it down. And then as far as other tongue twisters go, I happen to have a personal favorite, and that is Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So Betty bought a bit of better butter, and she put it in her batter and made her batter better. But I didn't start out being able to do it nearly that fast. Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So Betty bought a bit of better butter, and she put it in her batter, and it made her batter better. I eventually worked on that so much that I could say, Betty bought a bit of butter, but she said, it's butter bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So Betty bought a bit of better butter, and she put it in her batter, and it made her batter better. That takes a lot of time and effort. Another thing that I can suggest if you're looking just to kind of have exercises like that are to go from particularly plosive consonants to vowels. What I mean by that is anything that's like d, b, p is a plosive consonant. And if we go from that to a vowel, generally what you'll see is that you're using either the tip of your tongue or your lips to make that, and then we can use another part of our tongue, let's say, for the vowel. So we'll get to that in a sec. So if I want to say, go from a plosive consonant, ba, to another one, la, ba la ba la ba la ba la ba la ba la ba. Or even just forgetting that and going from something where we use our lips to using our tongue. So, ba da 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 ba. Or the opposite, da ba 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 da. So we're thinking 1, 2, 3. There's 16 notes. Da ba 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then another exercise I like to do is have people actually say something like that on a 16th note, or even start earlier and go to 8th notes. But if we're looking at 16th notes, if we look at exactly where the accent is, let's put it on the first beat of one measure. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Da ba 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 da ba. Or on every beat. Da ba 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 da. Now, what if we have it on the second 16th note of every beat? Da ba 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 da ba. That's another thing to do. Okay, now let's put it on the the offbeat, or the third 16th note of every beat. Da ba 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 da. And then lastly, fourth 16th note of every beat. Da ba 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 da ba. And you can of course alter that. We can do one measure altering where every where every emphasis is or every accent is. First, it's on the first 16th note of beat 1, second 16th note of beat 2, third 16th note of beat 3, fourth 16th note of beat 4. Da ba 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 da da. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da ba 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 da ba. If you're swinging things, you can do the same. We can do it with eighth notes, swing eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ba ba do ba do ba do ba do ba da ba do ba do ba. Yeah, does that work? I think it does. So, who asked that? Victoria Yates. I hope that that's helpful. And what I would do is just find something that you find difficult to get out of your mouth and slow it way, way, way down and see if you can do it in time at whatever is comfortable, speeding the metronome up to eventually get to, whatever tempo the song is at. And that can make things a little bit easier for you. Have any other questions? Just tweet it or Facebook at Singing TV, facebook.com/Singing TV. Question of the day. Let's see. Have you ever actually done anything as a singer that practices rhythms? And if so, what is it? Leave it below. I'm Sara Lieb. This is SingingTV.com. Together, you and I, we're making singing simple.